no dick nose, yucky. 不要抓鼻子，肮脏。Hi guys, it's Karen here from Zakoli Organic. I was live earlier today. I did a meal on the rocket stove, and I promised I will show you how I built my rocket stove with just bricks. So I'm jumping on now, and I'm just waiting for a few more people to jump on. I see one person jumping on. It'd be good to know who you are. Hi Christina, is that you? I'm just thought it's about time for me to do a live video to show people how to build a rocket stove. So David's just getting the bricks right now, and yeah, and we'll show you how to do it. It's you need 24 bricks and a flat surface. Yeah, so that's all you do. That's all you need. Some people say you need to cut the brick into half, but you don't have to. You can just have the brick sticking out if you can't be bothered cutting it. So that's all good. So it looks like there was a lot of painting at your house today. So you saw the post then. So yes, there was. Hi Monique. Oh, good to see you here. Thank you for saying hi. Yeah, so earlier today when I was doing a cookout outside on my rocket stove, and we left the kids by themselves for 5 minutes, and David went inside and he was in horror. It was horror when he walked in. The whole floor was full of paint, and yeah, the kids have to be dropped into the bath, and that was on live at the time, and I decided not to go inside because it's gonna be horrifying. Yes, you saw the post. Yeah, I know. And so when I did go inside, I made sure I left my phone outside, so people can't see my expression when I see the floor full of paint. And we got some of them onto our beautiful rug as well, which is a shame. We'll see if we can. Yeah, I know. We'll see if we can wash that off. We'll see. But yeah, this is what happens when you have kids. You can't keep an eye on them 24/7. Yeah, so okay, I'm gonna build a rocket stove today because I thought people might be interested, and I think it's a really fun thing to do with your kids, especially if given that we're all home right now, and the kids are home. Might be something really fun to do, and it's really easy, and it's not just about the building. Such is life with children, and you have 7 and I only have 2. You have yours way under control than mine. Yeah, so if we, yeah, so rocket stove, really good. Not just about the building phase itself, because you can get your son, your children to build it together with you. It's also about being able to do a cooking outside in the garden, and the weather is cold now. It's really, really nice to be able to light the fire outside and get the stove going. You're laughing. Such is life with children. Yeah, so I find it a really good thing to do, especially when the weather gets colder. It's nice to be outside in the garden, and when you have the fire, it just makes it so much more fun. And it makes cooking so much more fun as well. Depending on what type of paint, soda water may help to remove it. Oh, right. Do we need soda water?
It's all off now.
What about the rug? Is it on the rug? We haven't watched that yet. I'll try that, thank you. Yeah.
Who's that?
That's Monique. She's suggesting using soda water. I'm going to turn the camera around. Show you that we're just preparing the bricks right now, and see my son is helping, while he's having fun anyway. I'm going to turn the camera around. So David is my helper. He does all the heavy lifting. He's not happy for me calling him a helper. But anyway, he does all the heavy lifting, and
how many bricks do you need?
I need 24.
I think we'd be okay with that then.
Christina's sending a lot of love hearts.
Is that for me or just generally?
Oh, it's for me.
Oh. No, that's just fine.
All right, so are we building?
Well, off you go then.
Oh, come on, do it with me. I have to.
You walk the bricks.
All right, okay, fine. I will turn the camera back around so I can see myself when I talk. Otherwise, I don't know what you're looking at. Right, I am gonna find a good spot to place my selfie stick. David, don't run away. Come on, stay with me.
I'm actually watching my boy playing with my tools.
Your tools? Lo, you guys are funny. Well, maybe. It's funny now, but no. It wasn't funny when David walked into the house earlier and saw the paint on the floor. It wasn't funny. Alright. Okay, so we have prepared a flat surface here because it's just easier with a flat surface. Because when I built it last time a year ago, I couldn't be bothered having a flat surface. I just put the bricks on and I just kind of do it myself, and didn't really make sure it's flat. And it's fine. It's lasted a year and it could last for another many years, and it was fine and it works. But now that given that we're building it a second time round anyway, might as well do it right. So we just make sure we have this flat, and David was using the mallet to pound it just to make sure we have a flat surface. Flatter surface. It's not exactly flat, but it's flat enough. So, and these are my bricks.
You noticed that when you were frying things particularly, is that even though it was mostly flat, just that much tilt on it was enough to make all the fat go down to one end.
Yeah. So if you can make it flat, great. Make sure you don't put the build a rocket stove straight onto the mulch, because that is a fire hazard. Christina sending love hearts again. It's so cute. So, and given that yeah, you can be on concrete or anything else that's not a fire hazard, so that's all good. I'm gonna leave my camera here and I'm gonna start building. And can you have a look on your side just to make sure the camera is pointing properly? So you need 24 bricks.
Holding, Mommy.
I'm holding bricks. We're gonna build a rocket stove.
What's that?
That's your hand's so dirty. Can I? Oh my God! Can you put this away, please? Thank you very much. So we are building a 24 brick rocket stove. I need to try to remember how to do it, but it's really simple. Basically, what you need is to just lay the bricks and do it this way. So I want to have a. Where do you want the? So you still want the stick to fit from this way, isn't it?
Oh.
So just bear with me. I'm still trying to remember how to do this. As you can see, when I built this a year ago, we didn't have this plant here, and I planted it later on, so it's kind of overgrown.
But it's not in the way normally anyway, so.
Maybe we'll build it one over then, yeah? Just away from, just a little bit more away from it. So, can you see? Can people see this?
Yes.
Can they see me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you build it like this, and usually you lay a half brick here. But if you don't have anything to cut brick into half, you can just lay a full brick here. It's fine. You just have something sticking out. And I'm one of those people that would try to build it as simple as possible. But given I have half a brick, so I'm going to use half a brick. Do we have a better half brick?
We've got lots of half bricks.
Can you get one, please?
1 second.
Yeah. So you can lay the half brick here. So the idea is to leave a hole here. That's where the oxygen is going to go in. So you leave one hole here. Are you going to get the half brick?
Oh, you need it now?
While I'm waiting for my half brick. But again, if you don't have a half brick and you don't have the tool to try to cut your brick into half, just use a full brick. Oops. That means you probably need 25 bricks. Just lay it like that. And this part will stick out, and it's fine. It doesn't really matter. But if you want it to look nicer, you can use half a brick, just so it stays like that. And the second one is you do that. So this brick is a bit broken, so I'm gonna use a better one. As you can see, I probably should wear my gloves actually. Sorry. I'm just thinking, what's the best way to do this? What I might do is I might put a half brick on this side. Because what you want is to have this opening here, and you want to have another opening on that side, and this is where you feed. This is where the oxygen goes in, on this side, a hole here, and on this side is where you feed the sticks, where you're gonna burn. So I'm gonna do it this way, and I moved it this side because it's just a little bit more stable that way. And like as you can see, my bricks are not perfect because they're kind of recycled. David, what you doing?
Well, somebody just made a comment. Do you need to worry about air gaps?
Yeah, if you want it to be really efficient and make sure it burns most efficiently, of course you will want to have better bricks to minimize air gaps. When I had this earlier today, there was lots of gaps in there. Obviously, it's not as efficient as it can be, but it works. we still managed to cook, did an easy cookout, and we might just need a little bit more sticks than usual because it's not as efficient, but it's fine, so I wouldn't worry about it. If you have recycled bricks that are not perfect, you can use them too. And this one, is it a good one? This one is... Oh, do you need help?
Need help open.
Open the door?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it open for you. So can you see I've left a gap here, and this is where you feed the sticks in. And you just keep laying it. I'm gonna try to use the black ones because I've already used them before and they're not pretty for anything else. So you just stagger them. I use this one, turn it around because that's what we used before. And here you go. Can you see this part where you feed the timber in? And there is another hole here. That's where the air goes in. I'm just gonna keep using the old bricks, yeah?
Yeah, most of those bricks are fine. Put them in the...
Do you have a brush I can brush this off? Because I don't want this thing
Use
to...
the big one next to you.
Where's the brush? Oh.
Put them in upside down so you don't get water pooling in them.
Oh, it looks better this way. It's too late now anyway.
No, it's not.
Oh, the top one you can do that. So just make sure your bricks are clean because you want to make sure they're as flat as possible just to minimize air gaps. Oliver, don't throw rocks here, please. Okay.
Making castle, Mommy.
Okay.
Making castle.
No, Mommy building rocket stove. Alright, so you stagger them. Do you want to bring the camera just so people can see it from different angles? Oh, thank you. So our brick's a bit dirty.
We do apologise for not keeping our bricks squeaky clean.
David, this is not straight. This bricks is, well, again, so...
Hi Anita, yeah, I think mud bricks and straw, and yet that would definitely actually work pretty well because it'll fire hard.
If you have a fire brick, that will be even better.
Well, no, Anita's talking about making mud bricks.
Oh, mud bricks, yes. I'm just cleaning it up. So you just stack them up. You just keep stacking them up until the top, and you have yourself a rocket stove. So I'm gonna keep building up a little bit more just to give a bit more height because I don't want to be squatting down on the ground to cook.
Now you've got all the joints tight.
And this one is kind of got a massive gap here. It's because of the bricks. So maybe what we'll have to do is not to use this particular brick because it doesn't seem like the right shape. Oh, Oliver.
Some of these bricks are different sizes, so the new ones I chose are all the same size.
So you just stagger them up. You do that. So if you have your kid around, get them to build it. It's how good is that to use the energy to build something useful, and then they can cook with it.
Awesome.
Sorry, let me brush this off.
Helping.
You want to help? All right. Can you put one here, please? Be careful with your finger, yeah. Careful. Yes. Well done, Oliver. One more. Say hello to the camera.
Anita, I wouldn't bother. I would just let them dry out, and not an expert in this, but I think if you let them dry out in the sun, then go ahead and do this, you might get some good results. But experiment with it.
How many bricks are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one more.
You can even use mud to actually to close up any gaps that open. So that's something you might even do here.
Oh, another one. You clean. Okay, you stand there and clean them. All right. See, my son's helping. How good is that? Stand here so people can see you. So, basically. Yeah, yeah. Clean this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So six. A height of 6 bricks. On the other side. All right. Sorry, you have to watch him doing it first. If I take it away from him, he won't be happy, and I don't think he'll like to see.
Mommy.
Yes. What? Yeah, this one. Good job. Good job.
Anita, we've got some. I've actually had more heat off this one than I have actually on the main gas burner inside one of the big wok burners. it gives you very, when I put the cast iron pan over it, it comes up to heat really, really fast. A lot of it is basically how much fuel you actually feed in, but the tighter the gaps are on one of these, the better it actually works. And I think what we'll do is we'll spark it up as soon as we're actually done, and we'll make a cup of tea, and
Well,
you can see how long it takes to boil it.
We have used this when it's got a lot of gaps before. We have used this so many times. It may not be as efficient, it's not perfect, but I would say it's good enough. It's 95% good enough.
Mama, quack.
So I'm not fussed about the bit of gaps. It's not like, I don't know, I'm not cooking anything special, and for a standard cooking, that's all you need. Okay.
Don't
so
forget,
last
don't forget
brick.
to flip them over.
Yeah.
Oh, you want the last one to flip over? Oh, to flip over?
Yeah.
So David doesn't like having this because
You can do
Oliver, enough now. That's it. So why don't we turn this around? So the thing is, with our bricks, there is a dip here. So David doesn't like the water to pool at the top. So although I don't mind it because I think the bees can come and drink some water, and it looks prettier. Shall we go up?
You mean the smoke water?
The smoke water, yeah. Why not? It's activated charcoal. Sorry. So I'm gonna just turn them this way out. So if David doesn't like it, he can turn them back the other way. That's okay, Oliver. Enough now. So that's finished. Come,
Oh, apparently not now.
not now, because I like to show off my speedy tricks. All right, Oliver, do you want to stand over there? So Mommy just want to show people what it looks like now. It's done. So 24 bricks, and obviously I have a half brick here I've used at the bottom. But if you don't have a half brick, you don't know how to cut it into half, you can use a full brick. It just means that it will stick out. Half of it will stick out, and that's fine.
Hang on, we can't see that.
Oh, you can't see?
Say that again.
So there is a half brick here. So when you lay this, you lay it like a U shape that way. So U shape that way, so means you need a half brick on that side, and that means there is an opening here. Can you show people an opening here? So the first one you need one opening, and the second one you need the U shape to turn this way. So you have another opening here, and this is where you can feed the sticks. You know, this is where you feed the sticks, and that's where they draw the oxygen from at the bottom there. So where the half bricks are, so there is a half brick here, and again, if you don't have a half brick, just use a full brick, and half of it will stick out, and that's fine. I'm not fussed about that. And again, there's another half brick there, and if you don't know how to cut a brick into half, you will have one sticking out. And again, that's probably not very pretty, but it's not a big deal.
How high does it have to be?
Six bricks from the bottom to the top.
Can you build it taller?
You can, but it may not be as efficient. You can have it lower as well.
Okay.
I find this at a really, really good height for me anyway. So, another one? You want another one? So just think about it, because the timber is... All right, okay. Okay, so just think about it. The timber is all the way at the bottom. That's where the fire is. If you build it too high, the fire might not get all the way to the top. So you can build it one lower. So you might not even need 24 bricks. You might take the 4 off and just have 20 bricks. Okay, you can put it up there. So how we finish it off, we just put this. Can you brush
This
it
is
over
just
here?
a leftover wok ring we actually had from our old stove. It's not essential, but it just does give it a little bit of space.
So you just give it a bit of space. Otherwise, you can just put some, I don't know, put some spacing here. Make sure there's something that doesn't burn, and just so you can put the wok so you still have air gap there. And then we put our wok and put anything on it. So that's it. That's how you build a rocket stove in the garden, and you can easily cook a meal here, easily, and it doesn't take much to light it. And as we've shown you earlier today, if you haven't seen the video earlier today when we use it to cook, you should watch it. We made a beautiful meal in 40 minutes. It was 40 minutes because the kids... What's that? That's a brick with black ash. So your hand's dirty now. So it could have been much quicker, but it was just because we were running in and out to get stuff. Yeah, so you can easily cook a meal there, and it's really fun because what happens is we have all these twigs in the garden that we want to get rid of, and we want to return these twigs into the garden, the nutrients. So we will burn them up in here, and we'll feed it, and then we will use the ash for the garden as a fertilizer to add mineral back to the garden. So the other thing you can do, I forgot to mention, is if you want to control the temperature and the amount of oxygen that goes in here, you could put another brick here as a way of control the fire. So you can close it up a little bit just to to control the oxygen that goes in. So the fire is a little bit less, or you can leave it open. So you can leave another brick here if you want. And also, lastly, you can
What I would add to what Karen's just actually said is that if you've got a lot of air gaps, it's almost not going to actually matter what you do with that brick,
yeah.
because the fire's going to get plenty of air anyway. So, but if you keep your bricks nice and tight, it will make more difference.
Yeah, our bricks are recycled, so they're never gonna be nice and tight. But this is better than what we already better than what we had before, and what we had before works well. Now I just want to show you. I put another brick here, and the reason for that is because just so when I feed the sticks in, I have. Yeah, thank you. Can you brush that one off, please? That one. Yeah, that one. Thank you. So the reason why I leave another brick here, it's optional, is because so when I feed the sticks in, they've got just something to lean on. That's all. And you don't need it. You don't have to have it. You can have it just doing that if you want. But it's not, well, it's easier to do it this way anyway. So I put another brick there.
There are advantages sometimes to actually having the sticks pointing up on the fire side, so basically sloping up, simply because it just makes sure that all the burning and all the combustion happens inside the chamber.
No, turn it around to look at this. Now, do you want to light a fire to show them?
Sure, let me pass this off to you.
So we're gonna maybe. I've got 12 people watching. Let me turn my camera around. David, you. Sorry, I'm getting that David's sending all the love hearts. So what we'll do right now is we're gonna light up the rocket stove to show you how well it works. And while David's preparing I'll turn the video so you can see what David's doing. I'm going to go inside and get some filter water. So I'm gonna cook a tea here. I've got some beautiful lemon balm in the garden, so I'm just gonna make a tea. Yay, love fires. I know you love cooking outside as well, Christina. So I thought you might be interested in this video too. I'm gonna turn the camera around so to show you how David's just picking up sticks in the garden. I'll be back.
These aren't sticks so much as pine needles
This
from our
is
edible pine cone tree.
David, do you have the key?
I always have the key.
Thank you. Oliver, do you want some water?
Open this. Come on, Mommy.
So these pine needles, I know I'm out of shot right now, they'll even burn green. They've got so much sap in them, so just to show you this here. That's probably not enough. I'd like to get a few more.
So is that pot clean, David?
Rinse it.
Alright.
Really fine. So this should be
Did you
enough
lock the
to
door
get
so
it
the
going.
children couldn't go paint some more? No. The door locked itself, so I wish I can lock the door. So sometimes I go
Wow.
on live,
This one-
so I don't have to deal
Well,
with it.
you know, should we try to burn this one, Oliver?
Sorry, I'm gonna turn the camera around. While I'm gonna prepare some water, just washing the pot.
Oh, sorry.
I want to show you how quickly it boils. So I'm gonna start with just any temperature water. I want to show you how quickly it brings it to the boil. But let me wash the pot first.
That's a new. Daddy.
Now,
The new.
you typically put the fuel in from the... Hey-o. Everybody still there? Excellent. You typically put the fuel in here, but for lighting it, because I want to get everything up to heat quickly, I just put twigs, vertical twigs in here. You don't have to do this. I've found it makes it significantly easier if you actually do. So I pack that in.
What's he doing?
We're lighting a fire, Zachary.
It's wet.
Yes, it is wet. That's because we just spilt some water. Then things fell down. But it's okay. Everything's under control now.
All right.
Mommy.
So I've got a kettle, stainless steel kettle, that we usually bring it with us camping. You hungry? Are you hungry, Zachary? No. So how much we want to maybe put a liter in there, approximately.
Yeah, I normally fill it up to there.
So that this is 2 liter. So I'm filling it half. I'm gonna bring it put a liter in there just to see how quickly it brings it to the boil.
Mommy.
Yes, Zachary. Do you want some water?
Why? Mommy. Why?
So you set your fire up on top. Yeah. It's not the traditional way of doing it. Most of the people would just set up the fire from the bottom. But David found, we found just doing it this way, we get the fire going quite quick.
One of my special precious tools.
David, do you want to explain why you put your timber vertical? Zachary, don't do the angry faces. That's my son playing with my husband's phone. He should be making love heart shapes.
Okay, I'll do enough hearts.
Don't put the angry face.
Okay.
What I actually find happens is if your wood's a little bit damp, trying to get it going can be a little bit tricky if you're just trying to burn the tip here. So you put a few thinner ones in the top vertical and then they catch and then the whole thing will actually go up. So
No,
it
no, no
doesn't
pressing.
always work, but it gives you a big boost of heat at the
No
start.
angry face.
Gives you a lot of heat in there, which is good for combustion.
Okay,
And
I'll
just
promise.
really makes
Promise I'll do hard.
you have a better chance of getting the fire to light the first time rather than like the third or the fourth time. Because we're not working with firelighters here. We're just using pine needles. So that's enough.
What's it called?
That is enough I have in here now. Can we have a look at the top, Karen?
Yeah, so I'll show you what it looks like from the top. Again, this is all very forgiving stuff. You don't have to do it this way, but it's just what we do. What you could do is just to feed some, sticks at the bottom and then put a fire starter kind of in there. We use pine needles as fire starter, and then you just light it up. Hey, why do you block it off there, Dave?
I didn't.
Who did? Oh, the kid.
Yes.
All right. I thought David has some kind of special special method. So this is not meant.
Yes, it's called locking the children away.
All right. So keep it open. Yeah. So usually what we do is if we don't do the vertical stuff, we will put the sticks in here, and then we will put we will shove some fire lighters like the pine needles, anything that burns easily, or paper, whatever that is. We shove it from this side. This side is the side where you draw the air, and then we will light it from here. We'll put a lighter in and light it from there. Hi, Jackie.
All right. Now, who wants to see me light a fire with 2 sticks?
I want to light the fire.
Like this?
No, it doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, it does work.
Really?
I'm totally not doing it. I'm using this.
Can I do it? Can I do it?
All right, Oliver, enough.
No.
Don't do angry face. Sorry, the angry faces come from my son. He's pressing angry faces.
Can I do it?
It's not meant to be angry. It's supposed to be
you can do
heart
that.
shapes.
I can
Oh, good.
light the fire.
Christina's offsetting it. Yep. So my son, we're just letting our 6-year-old son to light the fire. We just find this so much more fun than being inside, cooped up in the house.
Everybody stay out the smoke.
All right, Zachary, enough now. Stay away. So it's very smoky right now because the pine needles doesn't burn very cleanly, but it will slowly go.
But they do burn fast.
They do burn
Zachary
fast.
is enough now.
You always use Zachary. Enough. Take it off, please. We always use pine needle to light the fire because it burns very effectively, and we have a beautiful pine tree here. I'll show you my pine tree. Oh, look, it's going. Look at how fast it catches. Oh, David. All right, it's not showing.
Angry face.
Don't do angry face, Zachary. You're not allowed. David, can you take this away, please?
Angry face.
Sorry, guys, about the angry faces. That's my son playing with David's phone. I think he meant to have hearts going up there instead.
Now, in terms of what you feed into the side, generally a mix of probably quite thin ones like that would be your average. You can go thicker than that, but just remember that there's not much space for it to actually burn in there. So you want to have a mix of smaller ones and bigger ones. Probably around about 60 to 70% twigs, and the rest can be big ones. You can put that on now, Karen.
Yeah. Okay. So it's going. It's happening. So I've got my a liter of water kettle here. I'm just gonna put it on, and then I might take you for a walk in the garden. I'm gonna get some beautiful river mint. We're gonna make a tea.
Let's have a look. So show them the top of the fire so you can see what it's
I
doing.
want to top the fire. It's still burning very smoky. I
It
don't
will
like this
be.
part because it's very smoky, but that's because of the pine needle. But look at the fire going.
Because
Now
I
you can see they're going straight up the twigs, and that gives you heat in there. You need that for combustion. Also, actually gives you
Yeah. So yeah, you don't need big chunks
coals
of
in the
wood.
bottom.
That's right. You don't need big chunks of wood, and the actually the traditional way of actually deliberately using little twigs, but because we don't want to be standing here all day long and just keep feeding it all the time.
This is the biggest I will typically burn.
Yeah, we just use standard sized branches, but you can go with little twigs. But what you do need, if you use little twigs, you just need to make sure you just keep feeding it through because it burn very fast. The bigger ones, you still have to push it through, just not as frequently.
Daddy, you can't make the fire guns going out.
That's not going out.
So while this is burning, I'm just gonna take a walk in the garden. I'm just gonna go harvest some lemon balm and some. Oh, David really wants to show you guys the shed. So
No, I'm joking.
no, he's not. He's very happy with his shed. So
It's not built yet, so it's not really a
Come on. Zachary,
You don't
that's
play-
dangerous.
you don't play with fire, Zachary, yeah?
that's right. My son's
You
just
don't play with fire, yeah?
Hi, Catherine. All right, Zachary, that is extremely dangerous because if you touch that anybody's face or body, you can burn.
I'm trying
So
to
let's show people Daddy's shed.
I'm trying
while
to
we're waiting
burn
for
the
this.
nog. Mommy, I'm trying to burn the nog.
No, you can't burn the log. That's where I'm gonna sit.
Why? What
All right.
can I burn? I want something to burn.
So just look at how big the fire is, and it really heats up. Hi. Can I hide back?
Yes,
How
just
do I
in the
hide back?
bottom.
No, I'm gonna
No,
go.
I
Love.
want to. I want to.
You can't put it on the top
Yep.
now because look at the flames, it's dangerous.
All right, let's take a walk in the garden while I'm gonna go harvest. Obviously, my son
That's dangerous, here, man.
doesn't understand the concept of us having a live video, but it's good having him in there.
Yeah.
Check it out now.
Oh, look at it now. Look at how fierce the
Actually-
fire is going.
I'll say since we got all the since we rebuilt that and we got it all tight, you really see the fire funneling up a lot harder.
Yeah. Zachary, is this the
Makes
one
a
that's been
big
in there?
difference.
Because it
No.
is. Okay,
it's
make
a
sure you
new
know.
one.
I actually wonder, Anita, what kind of result you'd actually get if you did actually seal it all up with mud as well. It might be even
Oh,
better.
even better. That would
Yeah.
be. I think if you want to do it properly, you would do that. But if you just want to have some fun, this is good.
You know what? Next time we actually plant something, I might take some clay out and just like smear it on the outside and see how that works.
Yeah. So as you see, I think this will be boiling very soon. Oh, I don't even want to touch it.
No, this
Zachary,
is
don't get too close, yeah, because this is fire. So I was almost gonna touch that handle. It's not very wise. Oh, careful, Dave. Kids. So we're just testing and see whether it's.
Cooking.
no.
So
look,
it's
as
not.
you can see,
it's not
boiling yet,
but
but
it's getting warm.
thinking about it.
Not too close, Zachary. Oliver, this is very dangerous. Okay, not too close. Thank you.
I'm making the fire.
David, can you watch the kids just to
I
make
will
sure
watch
they
the
get
kids.
too
You go get
close?
the lemon
So I'm gonna go grab some of my lemongrass, just so we can have something to boil. And this is my garden. I have some veggie garden here, and I have lots of beans here, which is way out of season now. I planted them way too late this season, but that's all right because beans is good for the soil. It will bring the nutrients up, so it's not a waste because it just kind of fertilize the soil when I grow beans. Even though I won't get any beans this season. So I'm just gonna get some of my lemon balm because I love having lemon balm tea with river mint. And river mint is a type of mint. It's a native mint, and it's just beautiful smell. It's very fragrant and it's very it's very refreshing smell. I love it. So I just grabbed some lemon balm. Sorry, I probably should turn my camera around so you can see me also, so I'm not just talking. So I'm just I should walk inside. I suppose I'm a bit lazy. I should walk into my garden. I've kind of fenced it up because we have ducks. Just want to make sure the ducks don't get in there and have a feast in my garden bed. So this is where we walk into our garden bed, and we have to replace a lot of the veggies here now because a lot of them are out of season. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get some lemon balm, a bit more. This is my lemon balm, which is really good for you. It's delicious in tea. And I've just recently harvested them as well. They grow really easily, and they were so much bigger before, and I've just harvested a whole bunch of them, and I dry them, I dehydrate them, and they're now in a bottle of jar for me to make my tea. Alright, so I think I might have had enough. It's only a liter of water, I don't need that much. So some lemon balm here, and I'm gonna go get my river mint, and I'll show you later on David's shed, which he has been building for the last few weeks in between looking after the kids, and we build them with recycled material. Well, while you're here, I'm going to show you the cubby house that David built, or it's a tree house or the cubby house built with recycled material, 100%, mostly out of pallet. Yeah, and yeah, so even the slide, we picked it up on the side of the street. Someone don't want it anymore, so we thought, you know what, why go to waste, we'll bring it home. So I'm gonna go grab some river mint here, and I'm gonna turn my camera around, and this is where all my mint and bezels are. I've got a few different mints there, and some perennial basil, because the basils, I planted the basil because the bees love them, and then the color mint also, the long flowering, the flowering for ages, and the bees love them as well. So, all right, and this is my river mint. It's a native mint, and they grow very well, and they have kind of grown into other parts of my garden. And people tell you that you don't want to grow mint in your garden, and I have a different view, because I think I'd rather have greens in my garden than just to have soil or just a lawn. So I let them grow in my garden, and when they grow to places I don't want them to be, I just cut them off. So when they were overgrowing here where my path is, I just cut them off and let them continue on here. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm just gonna grab some of them, and I'm gonna put it in my tea. Alright, let's go back to the rocket stove and see if it's boiling. I'm sure it's boiling now. Is it boiling, David? Dave? Is it boiling yet? So I might just give it a quick rinse. And I'm gonna hand the camera back to David. David, is it boiling yet?
Not far off.
Alright. I'm gonna leave my camera here so you can see them on the stove. And if for those of you who have missed out the first part when we were building them from scratch, you can replay the video.
It only took what, 5 minutes to make it once you had the bricks?
Yeah, so 24 bricks. I built it. I don't have any, I'm not very handy, so basically it's just a matter of stacking the bricks. David, make sure that's not treated pine, yeah?
That's not treated wine, that's an old wine barrel. Don't poke it too much, Stephanie. Almost. You can chuck it in now. Just let it come up to the boil.
It takes a long time. It takes longer than I thought it would be, because I think you probably didn't have enough timber in there.
Maybe.
Oh, the fire is very low.
Zachary.
Zachary, you need to let Mommy come here. I think what we need, the thing is, if you use bigger logs or stick or branches, the fire is not as strong. So
I'll feed in some smaller ones.
that's
just
why
to get it going.
traditionally people will feed the rocket stove with twigs rather than bigger branches. And bigger branches is fine if you want to do a slow cook. Yeah, but if you just want a quick boil, I would recommend smaller twigs. Smaller ones, Dave.
That is small. Now, I was saying earlier, if you got any dead branches on trees, they can be a really good source of little twigs, and also cleans your tree up.
So I think David's going a little bit too carried away with the number of branches he put in there for just a little of water. So I don't think we need all of this.
You can always pull it out again afterwards, dear.
Yeah. Alright, I'm just gonna put the smaller ones in. Even they're all over our garden anyway. I don't think. How come the fire? How come it's so Can you give it a blow there?
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, I think what happened there. That's too big, that one. I think what happened there was there was too many bigger logs in there, and it just took a while to light up. And again, you don't have to have 6 levels of bricks there. You can have just 5, and that will bring you closer to the fire, so that might even burn faster and quicker. We build it at 6 bricks height is because it's a good height for me. It might be too low for David, but it works really well for me.
It's too low for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a normal height.
I'm a normal height too.
Yeah, of course you are. Of course you are.
Shut up. Don't put the big ones in anymore. You need it. Alright, so we just need to make sure we keep feeding these twigs in as they burn. I think what happened is when I was away busy trying to harvest my lemon balm, the boys let the fire went off.
That's true. One thing I will say is that you do need to actually watch with this. You need to actually watch that you keep feeding it in. I mean, even if you're just pushing it in centimeters at a time, you need to kind of like keep doing that. Otherwise, it will burn everything that's in the main combustion chamber. And if everything is pointing up, and then it will just go out. Even if you've got the sticks in there fairly flat, they will still actually go out most of the time. So you do need to keep feeding it.
Yeah. So that's the thing to remember. You do need to keep pushing it in. But again, you can bring the bricks down a bit more. So see that now it's going. You see that? Can they see?
Hello,
fire?
Catherine.
Can you see the fire?
Yes, we can.
It's really going now because we just changed it to smaller twigs, and I just keep pushing it in because I don't know maybe when I was away just now, they forgot to push it in. That's why we kind of.
No, I think the twigs were a bit too big, or slightly damp, or a combination of these things.
You don't really want this in there.
Oh, all right, that's fine.
So because of the little twigs, they burn really fast. You just keep pushing them in. But it's really fun thing for the kids to do. I love it. When I cook here, I can sit here for 1 hour, just keep feeding the twigs because it's very therapeutic for me.
And that's one of the nice things about doing this is that you're actually outside and you're kind of chill. There's something simple about it.
So it's just starting to heat up now. Now, while we're waiting for that, do you want to take people to show people your stove? I don't think people want to just look at the rocket stove the whole time while it's warming up.
Sure, I'll just show you a couple of the projects we've actually been working on.
You can turn the camera around this way.
No, this is fine.
But you can look this one, and then you can turn it.
No, I don't think anybody needed to see that so close in such a hurry. Very terrifying. That's better. Just a few things we've actually done in terms of recycling. Not 100% finished, but this beautiful table here was made entirely out of pallet wood. The whole principle of the garden, we've said so a few times in the past, but the whole principle of the garden is, number one, you can eat pretty much anything, or it's there for attracting so like bees and other pollinators, and nothing's permanent. All of these bricks here, beautifully laid out by Karen, were recycled from the old garage. Now, all the timber that was left over from the build, we actually recycled into this little cubby house, which we've built next to the tree rather than into the tree, just to actually look after the tree. This slide here, one of our neighbours actually literally just threw it away onto the nature strip, and I've seen them worse in playgrounds. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, so I effectively built this cubby around the slide, which is nice. Over here, this was actually the old steel frames from the garage, and I've literally just taken some of the old bricks and the old tin and the old steel frame, and I'm turning it into a shed, which we're just fitting into the garden here. Now, the whole beauty about this is we've literally spent no money on it. I have spent money on screws and a few new bolts, and that's it. So a decent big shed can set you back thousands of dollars. This is just costing me time. Even these timber supports here, they've been recycled from pallet wood. So there's a lot of stuff you can actually do if you simply don't decide to throw everything away straight off. It's actually quite possible to actually keep a lot of things and do stuff with it. Now, people actually argue that it's always actually easier to build new. That's true. It is. It is always easier to build new because you're not actually using anything that's there. You're not using anything that's actually imperfect. But I'm actually getting a lot of satisfaction with this right here, simply because I'm actually able to I'm reusing stuff. I'm not chucking stuff back into the environment. I'm not using plastics, and it's just an awesome thing. I mean, I'm repeating myself a little bit, but that's the way I truly actually feel about it. Not chucking stuff away and being able to actually retask it to other things has got to be the best recycling, because once you actually chuck anything out, most of the time it's just landfill. Even the stuff you actually put into the recycling bins, a lot of that will actually probably end up in landfill as well. They'll recycle everything they can, but it still creates landfill. Doing this is the best thing I can think of. Sorry, a little bit of a rant there. I feel quite strongly about that. But let me hand you back over to Karen.
So do you want to get the cup here? We can drink some tea now.
Is it boiled?
Yeah, it's boiling.
Should we have a look at it boiling?
Yeah, it's taken longer than I expected, and I think it's because of we started off with a lot of heavy-duty branches. But what I want to add though is, if you want this to work even better, do you want to come here? You only need 16 bricks. You can cut it down to just 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 brick height. You don't really need to go to 6 brick height. And we went for 6 brick height only because it's just a good height for us. And if you have kids, you want them to do some cooking, you can have it lower if that works better for them. But of course, you want to keep it safe from them as well. You don't want them to drop into it or something. So you can have just 16 bricks. Is that 16? Actually, I have people who just build it up to that level, but I personally think at the very minimum you want to have at least 4 bricks height rather than 3. Yeah, so these 2 are extras, you don't need them, but we want them for the height.
And I will actually say that even with those bricks there, it still gets really warm. So let's have a quick look in here. Watching my fingers. Yeah. You see, that's not just like a little boil, that's boiling quite hard.
I think just to finish off, we should tell them, just for those who just jumped on, if they don't know how it was built, maybe we can just explain that one last time. So to build these bricks, all you need to have is, we have 24 bricks. You can have less, you can have, actually you only need to have 16. So if you're 4 bricks height, you only need 16 bricks. So what you do is you lay your bricks so that you have a U shape like that. The first layer, a U shape, an opening here. And then the second layer, you have a U shape this way, an opening here. And on this side is where it draws oxygen in. And on this side is where you feed the twigs. Yeah. And this is, yeah, and a U shape. You can build a U shape with one of them will have to be a half brick. And after that, the U shape this way, and then the rest is just stacking it up as squares. And you can just build up as high as you want. But just remember, the higher it goes, the less efficient it is, because the fire has to come up quite a long way to reach the top. So you can build it with just 4 bricks height or 6 brick height. We're using 6 bricks because that's a good height for us. All right.
Shall we show them the tea?
Yeah. All right.
Show me to pour that. Careful.
All right. We're done now.
Who took my gun out?
No, Zachary, you can put it there. So if you have missed out the earlier video today where we've done the cook up here, we cooked a meal here earlier today. It took about 30 to 40 minutes of cooking, including lighting the fire and everything. And yeah, we cooked a beautiful meal here.
No poking, Zachary.
Zachary, don't play with that fire, please. You should try to watch that video, because I think it will be a good thing to know that it's not just a rocket stove for display or a rocket stove for playing with. You can cook a full meal here, and I have done so many times where we've cooked a beautiful meal outside here.
I would say if you go back to the first 10-15 minutes of the video, you'll actually see exactly how we actually built this and exactly how quick it came together.
Yeah. All right, so that's our lemon balm with river peppermint tea, and we're gonna sit here and drink it and enjoy it. So thank you for watching. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Yes, well, one last thing. When you finish with it, you're not comfortable leaving it burning. Just pull the majority of the sticks just out like that to the edge, and they will all go out. And you can also,
No.
as Karen's actually said,
Stop. Stop.
Zachary, no, you can't. You can close it up to keep it safe.
close it up.
Make sure
just
you
to
go in a
actually-
bit, Zachary. David, that's a bit dangerous.
Yeah, Zachary, let go now. Dangerous.
Yeah, my
fire.
6-year-old is very
Interested.
interested, or what's the word?
No, you need to let it go out now. Okay?
Likes to try different things, so we have to keep him away from it.
Zachary.
All right.
Very second.
Okay, so I am gonna say goodbye here, and thank you guys for watching, and I hope you've learned something today, and all the best with building your rocket stove. And if you have built one, I would love to see the
Why are we teaching how to build one?
because other people like to learn it too.
Yeah.
So if you build one, please share the video or a photo with us, and let us know if you have any questions. I think my child is hungry. That's why he's
We're gonna go
acting
feed
up
him.
a little bit.
Boopy
Every
pat.
time he's hungry, he really acts up a different personality as soon as he's fed. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna sign off here. Thank you very much for watching. And if you've missed the part where we show you how to build it, just replay this. It's all there. It's very easy to build. And good luck. Thank you very much. Bye.